And I got some bad customer service this week too. We did some, with the business that I never talk about, we did decided to do and then did some influencer marketing because it's in a world that I don't have any influence in, right? Like if it was tech, I turns out I'm kind of a tech influencer in that sense, right?
Right.
Business, at this level, influencer. Not in this other world. So fine. But I know the value of influencer marketing. I've been doing it 25 years. So it's like, fine. Find the company that's essentially the backbeat media of that world. And we, told them what we wanted to do. Great. Okay. We set a budget. All good. They even said, they're like, great, we're going to treat this as a prove it campaign. And I'm like, I like that term. I'm going to use that term. Right. Yeah, exactly. And so great. We're all on the same page. They know. I told them, I said, we're spending $5,000 with you, right? Okay. If this proves out, I'll spend $50,000 next month.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't I? Yeah. Right. So we're all on the same. And I made it clear to them, like there is more budget here. There is effectively unlimited budget, because of the way this business works. Okay, great. Not unlimited budget forever, but if you can bring me users that earn me money, well, I'll keep paying for those users. That's how this works. Yeah. So, okay, great. So they come up with these things. They run a bunch of these influencers past us. There's some YouTubers. There's some Twitter/X things, whatever.
Yes.
All that, and some like blog posts, and we're like, okay, if this is the stuff that you think is going to work, that's great. Okay, great. So we start doing this, and
this is, let me interrupt. This is not like a branding campaign. This is a direct. They're going to respond. Something's going to happen. Yeah. You're going to track what happens.
Yeah, we run a web. The website is essentially a website where you come and you can earn essentially money for yourself by doing like little things. Take a survey. Install an app or something. Like do a thing.
Sure. Yep.
Earn money. Right. So this is it. Like nobody pays to join our site. You just do it. It's great. And so they did all this stuff, and we put like little coupon codes along with each of the influencers, so that their followers would actually get like free money on the site, so like, nice. Okay, right. Like all the things that I know you're supposed to do. Just like on the show, we use like custom URL codes sometimes so that you get a discount and that sort of thing. So then we were post-morteming this campaign, and one of the tweets had, this person's got, 500,000 followers or something. There were 166 comments on the tweet, 544 retweets, 330 likes. I think they said there were 46,000 views on the tweet, and there were 2 signups. And then there was another tweet that was very similar in terms of the metrics that I just said, 0 signups. And so I went to them and I'm like, we need to talk.
Yeah.
Because what happened here.
That does not prove it.
It doesn't prove it, right? Not even close.
The opposite. Yeah.
It's the opposite. And then I started digging into these tweets, and I'm looking, and it's like, the comments are amazing. There's probably a dozen or more comments from all different users with different accounts that all say, amazing project, smile emoji. Looking forward to this one, muscle flex emoji. Like literally copy paste all the way through. And it's like, these are bots.
Those are bots.
So I told the people, I'm like, we need to talk because it looks like these are like rife with fraud. These people you brought to us. And we get on a call, and I told them ahead of time, like I gave them a day's notice. I didn't want to blindside them. I wanted to let them do their research. I didn't need to see whether they felt like surprised.
You have the data.
I don't care.
Yes.
I want to talk about it. So do your research, figure it out, come to the meeting informed. Great. So show up at the meeting, and they're like, I know the term fraud is really like not, essentially saying we don't like to use that word. I'm like, okay, well, but it is.
That's just languaging. I mean,
that's just language, but fine. Potato. And then they said, but like influencer marketing is like, the audiences of these things are like, 70, 80% bots. And I stopped him and I said, No, that's not true. I've been an influencer for 25 years. Certainly, I know that there are bots following me, but I also know that when I recommend products, people buy the products. And when they comment on them, there might not be as many comments as these, but the comments are related to the products I'm talking about. People are reading the things that I tweet. They're listening to the things that I say, and they're either reacting or not, depending on whether it's a good fit or whatever. But the reactions aren't fake. Like they're legitimate.
What did they? Yeah, and what was their response to that?
And then they said, "Well, then why did you pick these influencers?" And I'm like, we didn't pick these influencers. Yeah. You did.
We hired you to pick them.
Yes. I'm like, if I did this with one of my clients and just said, "Well, why did you pick that podcast to be on if you knew it was fraud?" It's because you told me to, Dave. I was just blown away. And so we chatted after this. I have an assistant that works with me on this kind of stuff, and she was actually running this campaign, kind of managing it. But we worked together on it, and we talked about it. And of course, she hears me talk about the 2 tokens of customer service, and I wasn't even thinking of it this way. At the 2 tokens, that's right. Yes. And she said, "I can't believe," she's like, "you laid down both tokens for them and gave them the opportunity, and they still picked the wrong one. Like, you fed them this, and they could have been like, 'Oh, we are so sorry. This is terrible.' And like, all they have to do is tell me it's more terrible than I said it was, and now we're on the same page. It gets you on the same side of the desk."
So a quick primer on the 2 tokens, if you've not listened to that episode, or we've mentioned it over and over, but in customer service, there's a theory that there's only 2 responses, and the one response is, "Oh, it's no big deal, whatever," and the other response is, "It's the end of the world, it's the worst experience of my life." And when there's 2 people in the conversation, each party gets to only pick one. And if you lay those out there, and if you pick the wrong one, which like the people selling you this influencer marketing did, they're telling you it's no big deal. It's just the way it is. It's 80%. Dave's only choice is to pick, yes, it's a big deal because it's fraud and it's terrible. And so, it's a really good example of why your service provider should have said, "Dave, we're so sorry. This is incredible. Let's do something. Let's try something else.
Let's do something. Let us deal with this for you.
Give us another shot."
Yep.
Yeah. You're saying it's fraud. That really, wow, that's the most concerning thing out there. And then Dave would have gone, "Hey, that's great. Okay, let's keep working together and get this right."
Yeah, this isn't that terrible. Like, we're going to be able to fix this. And it, we have they did a thing which I liked. When we started this project, they linked their Slack group with ours. So we have like a kind of a dedicated channel in our Slack workspace that's with them, right? They don't see the rest of our Slack workspace. We don't see the rest of theirs, but there they were. And they're a relatively small company too. And their CEO is one of the 4 members of their company that's in our Slack workspace. We had an account rep. And when I posted about this and I said, this is fraud, we need to talk, I tagged their CEO. Like, I think he needs to be here too, because this is a big deal. Like, I couldn't possibly have communicated to them to any greater degree how important this conversation was going to be to me.
Yeah.
Right.
To you.
And the CEO not only didn't show up, but he still hasn't said anything to me, and we haven't heard anything from them. Yeah. So
great example.
Crazy.
It's
crazy.
And the influencer thing is fascinating. I'd love to talk more about it on our Friday episode. This whole concept of do you need millions of followers or hundreds and hundreds of thousands, or do you really just need 1,000 true fans to make your business work?
I am looking forward to talking about that. I have thoughts. I have opinions.
Yeah. Awesome.